Amy here, doing a live in a very hot world. If you're like me, you're hot because most of us are in a heat wave. Uh, Luckily, we might get some rain. I really hope. But it's been hot and the conditioner's not working, so that's fun. I was doing fine until this horrible wave hit, and yeah, it's been pretty bad. I mean, it's really bad. I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty miserable. It's hot. I can't even think. But anyway, I'm here, and there's so much going on right now, and I wanted to make a video. I worked all weekend, so I really couldn't come on and talk about everything that's going on with five. As you know, just call my that's probably the most respectful way that I could talk about him is to call him 45, and you know who I'm talking about, and everything that's going on with. I'll just say Iran, and then I'll say I. How about no? No, I can't. Can I? By the way, sorry for the fan in the background. It's loud, I know, but it's really, really hot. It's like 90 something today and no clouds until now, and we've just been dying all over the place. So on so I can survive. Um, you know, let me go back to, I said before, someone had asked, do you see any wars in the future? I'm like, there's always going to be war. And that's what I said, there's always going to be war. And I said, and I kind of, I guess it was a hit. I don't know, just common sense, really. Um, and I said, well, the Middle East, because they're always fighting. There's always going to be war in the Middle East because, religions do tend to cause, religion itself causes a lot of war because everybody is fighting for which God is the greatest God and which God's going to smite this country and this sect of people. Everybody's the bad people, and so they're always in God's name trying to unalive each other in the name of God, which of course God would never want you to unalive each other. But that's the thing. So that's the hit I got, the Middle East. And then when 45 started this whole thing with Iran, I got the new moon. I said something's going to happen around I think it was early last week. I pulled some cards, it's right on my channel. And I got that he would be talked out of immediate action and no strikes would happen until the new moon. And that's really what we're at right now. So those were correct. Those were correct hits for my guides, from the cards, etc. But what I didn't get was that any of this really was a big event. Ukraine, that was a big event. 9/11 was a big event. Lots of things, different things. I could talk about where I felt, oh my God, like the election. I felt before the election, I felt very strongly that Kamala would win, but that something bad would happen. That's what I got. Um, and also before, okay, let me go back. Oh yeah, before Ukraine, I kept getting something bad feelings. I kept getting messages about Russia and attacks from Russia. I remember very specifically before Ukraine got attacked, I kept getting messages about Russia and attacks from Russia. And so, but I haven't felt that. Point being, I have not felt this. I mean, urgent things are happening, but it does feel like a false flag. It feels like we're being played. So today, I don't know if I can go on my phone and leave. Let me see. It might shut me off, so I probably can't. Well, there's many posts from 45 today, and um, and now he's saying, "We did it! Yay! Everything! We did this! We did mission accomplished. Now everyone's going to have this great peace." So he wants to have his Nobel Peace Prize, and I don't feel like it's the truth. The thing is, what's wrong with this? And then I see a report which I posted on my community board about how this is all really, they're all playing each other. I mean, and that's what I'm feeling. That being played. Now, why? Now, some people said, oh, because they were going to release files about 45 and the Epstein files, which Pam Bondi was supposed to release already. And yes, she did. And here's the thing. My hair, 45 could do anything, literally any horrible thing you could think of. It could be pictures, live event on TV of 45 doing horrible things with Epstein. And MAGA wouldn't care. They don't care. They've already seen and heard his worst behavior. They're in it. They're in it till the end. I've even had a vision of Putin, if he's even still around, going on live TV of Russian TV and saying, "Now here's what I know that 45 did. The thing that 45 did. The MAGA is still indoctrinated. They're not going to listen. They don't care. Literally, 45 could come out dressed as the devil and say, unalive everybody, children first." And MAGA would say, well, if he said it's okay, then it's okay. The women in 25 has to hide. There's something else. There's something else going on. Um, Now, would it be? I heard someone talking about uranium earlier, and then I got a flash of, and that's Tony Back to the Future, but I got that flash of the Back to the Future, and I think there's something more to that. I do feel like he's fighting, he's trying to distract us from that Kamala won. It's like we've all been asked about why didn't we do recounts? I begged, I did lives, I cried, went on desperate lives on my channel. Please, please do the repeats. Um, please, this is how the election was stolen for entertainment purposes. Um, it's like we've been under a spell and nobody would do anything, but just the second, just the moment where we start to wake up and we go, oh, look, Kamala didn't get any votes. There's clearly something wrong. Now here, and they show the data, reports coming out, here's all the data, here's all the information, bam, a war starts. I feel like it's more to do with that than Epstein files. The Epstein files, that's never going to change MAGA. Never, 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 never. Pretty darn sure about that. A P-tape, that's never going to change MAGA. MAGA doesn't care. In fact, they're so indoctrinated that if they saw the P-tape, they would say, wow, let's all do that tomorrow. They're very indoctrinated. But I think deep in their hearts, they know, come on, we all saw the rallies last year. We all saw the numbers. We all saw the predicted uh, outcomes. We all saw how she was set to win. All the economists said that she'd be the best. All the election predictors said she was gonna win. She had everything to win. Early voting, the voter registration, everything she was going to win. And she won. What all of us psychics should have been asking was, who's going to get in? But she won. She won. So that's what I think this is all about. So, and also, what 45 is doing is now he's saying, I'm the peaceful president. You're president of the United States. Donald, can't even spell his name, Trump. And so now he wants his Nobel Peace Prize, where we have war on our streets, women being dragged out of cars, slammed into the pavement in front of their babies just because they're brown, sent to concentration camps, Frank, being sterilized like Hitler. It's all Hitler's playbook. That's war on our streets. War on our streets. Inhumane. Inhumane. There's illegal and there's inhumane, and human decency overrides legal. The whole thing about immigration. Okay, I'm all over the place. I wish I could find the tweets. Maybe I could look on my computer here. I doubt it. I'll have to post them later. But that's what I'm getting. I'm getting a lot of false flags. Are we going to go into World War III? I don't know. I'm not feeling it. Ask me next week. Maybe. Uh, well, anyway, so all this happens, and magically it's all better now. There's going to be a peace. Everything's all good. But the Iran thing, no, we didn't agree with. We're just getting played. We're getting played so hard here, and it's really the feeling that I'm getting too is last year when all this coming out pre-election last summer, Kamala was winning. Kamala had all these huge rallies. It was pretty obvious what was going on. She was going to win. Biden had dropped out. If you thing was heading toward Kamala, that's what was going to happen. And then all this talk about the Katie Johnson stuff, which again, I don't think that would have ever changed MAGA, but it would have changed the in between voters, is what it would have done. People who don't vote, the people who would vote independent, it would have changed their mind. Katie Johnson. I watched that tape, and I'm telling you that if anybody had the guts to watch the tape of Katie Johnson's deposition, you'll know she's telling the truth about her and Maria. You'll know that what 45 did to her was real. And yeah, you'd never die ever again. Like she said herself, and her deposition was before 2016. She had no money to gain from this, nothing. In fact, she got death threats, which is, what always happens to anyone who speaks out against it. And she said, "Listen, I don't want anything. I just want people to hear my story, and what I don't want is people to vote for him. I have nothing to gain from this, but I really don't think you would ever, if you knew the truth about 45, you would never want him in the." And she's right. I dare people to watch that video deposition of Katie Johnson. So anyway, that was coming out. Everybody online was talking about it. It was like rising into the brainwashing that we all have, this sleep paralysis that we're not doing anything, not fighting for anything. And that's when the Butler, Pennsylvania thing happened. And I remember when it happened, I was at work, and I was walking through the galley at work in the restaurant, and somebody said, "Oh, somebody tried to, unalive 45," and I was like, "Really?" And I just remember thinking, right, here we go. All this stuff, he's losing the election, numbers are bad, and then all this stuff about Katie Johnson's coming out, and the court things, uh, had happened that had really hurt him because he in the courtroom, his behavior in the courtroom had hurt his reputation. Just that he got the 34 counts felony. It was his really horrible, entitled, disgusting behavior in the courtroom that showed that he's just a big jerk, falling asleep and farting and everything else. And look, he wasn't going to win. He wasn't going to win. He didn't win. But it looked bad. So what happens? A false flag operation in Butler, Pennsylvania. And I was like, yeah, this is exactly Narcissist Book 101. Pretend that you've been unalive. So then everybody loves you. Everybody feels sorry for you. Everybody has to shut up because now if you say anything bad about him, you're the bad guy. And it worked. And then he had a thing on his ear that everybody wore, that all these indoctrinated people showed fealty to him, wore the bandage, the Kotex pad on their ear at the RNC. And it's just, here we go. That's strike one. So that he could try to win, and then Elon comes in and everything else, and then the rest is history. False flag. The way that I felt when he announced this last weekend with Iran, I felt Butler, Pennsylvania. And in fact, I find it ironic now, I came on and I noticed that I had written in my post that 45 was supposed to be the peaceful president, which is like saying Charles Manson's party guy. The peaceful president, war on our streets everywhere, we can't go outside. So he might unalive you, put you in a van and take you to El Salvador if you survive. War on our literal streets. That's not peace. It's not. We're divided. Violence. But anyway, false flag. I was like, this is a major false flag. And then other people were saying it. But anyway, I got that whole imagery of Butler and him going, fight, fight. And, him going to Iran and just saying, I'm going to bomb this, bomb nuclear plants. And I was like, fight, fight, fight. False flag. False flag. Okay. The first thing that really clued me off about it was the way he announced it was just so nonchalant and like, here we go, I'm gonna go to the store today and I'm gonna get my favorite ice cream. You don't just go online and say and announce war plans if you're really serious. And the way that he didn't even announce it to Congress and get their approval, everything was changed, so subdued, so un JFK and the Cuban Missile Crisis up all night talking to Eisenhower. It was just too calm. Like he was too calm. He shouldn't have been a real. If it was a real situation, he would be shaken in his boots like anybody should be. You shouldn't be calm in a situation like that. You should be stressed the f out. So that was the fault that he's just nonchalantly posting things, and then the fact that he said he had a missile strike on nuclear plants. Well, we didn't. Did you hear about any nuclear plants exploding? Was there massive damage? TV everywhere? No, nothing happened. They're saying something happened, but I'm not seeing anything happen. There's no mass destruction. Like we don't want anyway, but nothing happened. That's a pretty big event to be talking about, and nothing happened. Not even we don't even have casualty numbers from our troops over there. It's just the whole thing is like somebody saying something but nothing. We're being told something but it's not the truth. False flag. Nothing added up, and then all the posts today don't add up. But then I get that story about how they're working with Iran, and it's all he's always still tied to Putin and everything I say is for entertainment purposes only. I just get that there's something off about the whole thing, and I mean, surprise, surprise, it's not World War III. It's like mental World War III. We're just more in this mental trap being paid. And I do think it has to do with him not liking the election results coming out and what's happening with that. And and also the whole thing with uranium. I think there's something with that. I don't think this is real. I'm probably wrong. I don't want to be right. I don't want war. But I don't have the feeling I have with Ukraine or anything. I feel there's many things lacking. So, how about this? To distract us from even that today, all of a sudden the Supreme Court comes out and says, "Oh, we've decided that you can you can just send anybody out to any country you want, even if they weren't born. So if you're born in Mexico, well, we can just grab you off the streets and send you to El Salvador. We can send you to wherever we want. Colombia, we can send you. We want to send you to some unknown gulag concentration camp, and that's unconstitutional and wrong and evil. Evil. Can't just do that. But the way the Supreme Court announced it was like, yeah, so that's clearly a distraction too, because the timing is just so suspicious to me that they would just come out and announce that today with all that's going on. When it's pretty, with the story that came out that said that all this is a lie, we're being played. So right after that report comes out, all of a sudden the Supreme Court says, "Oh yeah, we've decided that we can just kidnap a country that they don't even belong to. And you'll never see them again. They'll be tortured, and you'll never see them again." So war here in America, war in America. So I think the timing is suspicious. I think this whole thing is suspicious. As a psychic, I'm not getting the hits that this is that we're having real military action. I feel that he's triggering a lot of people, obviously. And I just saw something about how they tricked him. So the Pentagon had to trick him. And there's a whole thing about B-12 bombers that went west and some that went east, and then it triggered him, and they go, I'm going to write down. Here we go. So it's like everybody's playing everybody. We're in insanity right now, complete and total insanity. But the biggest thing that I'm getting today is that I don't trust any administration at all, not one ounce anymore. And I really feel like it would be nice if we had a day where none of us talk about Orange Dude at all. At all. And because I feel like the more we talk about him, which I'm guilty of right now, it empowers him. And I mean, we've been driven to the brinks of World War III, a nuclear attack, right? So, yeah, it could get worse, but not really. So, how about we try a different tactic? And that is just to completely ignore him and shut him out. No TV, no nothing online. Maybe all of us don't even split it. Nobody can kidnap immigrants if they don't leave the house? What if all of us just stayed inside? Nobody shopped. Nobody went to work. Nobody died. Nobody, and it was just a complete and total shutdown of society and the financial and media for 45. Anyway, this is going to be long, so I'll pull some cards real quick and see what's wrong, or I could do some remote viewing. I hope it rains. It looks like it's actually the clouds are piling up, so thank God. It's so hot. All right. Okay, 45. That can't be right next to you. So, like, I'm too distracted from being hot, so let's hope. I don't think I'm as good of a card color as I am just remote viewer, but I'll do my best here. Thanks for being here. Let's see, 45. What is 45? Tell me what's 45 really doing? What's behind the scenes? The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth about 45 and this whole thing going on. Show me the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. Let me see. I see a tank. I see him doing the salute like it's almost like a comedy, like John Cleese and Monty Python. And then the tank goes off a cliff, and he just, yeah, it's just played by like a little boy playing with an army set, toy soldier. Stressed, yeah, stressed about money. This is about me. Stressed about money. I don't know if these cards are going to really pick up my energy. Can you give me a card about what? Let me pick a different deck. Different deck. Let's see. 45. Donald Trump. What's really going on with 45 and Donald Trump? What's really going on with this whole war? Not a war. I mean, some people would say it's real. It is real. I mean, things are happening. But they Page of Swords, Death, and Eight of Cups. That's kind of what I got last time. The death was in reverse, so no like real death. Bad news. Up on the fence. Um, Eight of Cups moving away, walking away. So what is this? Like, and also the Page of Swords can be internet news. Disgruntled. Yeah, the puppy is choosing the little boy, and the cat looks disgruntled. I always feel like 45 is always old over everything. Show me 45. Show me 45. Spirit, show me 45. God angels, show me 45. Show me 45. What's really going on at 45? I'm going to focus on 45. See, King, this is what I get for him. I get King of Wands in reverse. That's a lot of misuse of ego. It's kind of like, if I don't get my way, I'm going to cause trouble. He's like Veruca Salt from Willy Wonka. I want to be in peace now, Daddy. Eight of Wands in reverse, causing panic. See, the Eight of Wands is like in upright. It's this cat is trying to save it from fire, from catastrophe, but it's in reverse. So that's that false flag I'm talking about. False flag. Anything else? Show me 45. Show me the outcome of this whole conflict. God and angel. Show me the outcome of this conflict. Seeing through the trickery, Seven of Swords in reverse, seeing through it. I think most of us are seeing through it at this point. We're all just so tired, lied to, so many lies. They quit lying to us. And see, upright, the cat is peeing on the wall, but we see through this bad behavior. Okay, there's that Judge Judy thing. Don't piss on me and tell me it's raining. We're just all so tired, and then we're tired of everybody lies, like online, the lies, and everybody's lying online. Bots are everywhere. You trust anything that you read, so you got to trust your gut, and you have to trust patterns. What's the pattern? Lies, being deceived, being tricked, having the wool pulled over our eyes. So the outcome of this is, I think, that we see through it. I think a lot of it are just kind of sitting back and going, fooled again. We went through all this. People were comparing it to when George Bush Jr., right? Bush Jr. Um, and he said weapons of mass destruction and everybody thought we're gonna die. So of course, yes, send troops over to the Middle East. Yes, please. And they took out Saddam Hussein, and all these things happened, and there were no weapons of mass destruction. And I feel the same thing. And I feel even this just happened over and over again, being lied to, and we're all seeing through it. Most of us are seeing through it. I don't think this is a huge war. It's a war of misinformation and the truth, the war of words. I don't feel this is a tactical war. But, you know, could come back next week and different story. But I feel like the real war is in our streets right now, that we're being attacked just for being good, kind hearted human beings and caring for each other. That's really, and it's 45 has put a war under the state of America. I don't think that this is World War III. It's yeah, whatever. So I will be done with that. And I wanted to come separate live about spiritual stuff, but can you tell I'm hot? I'm a little, what do you call it? Acidic when it's hot. I'll be back. Let's see if this ever posts because it takes forever for YouTube to post anything. So yeah.